Hello, and welcome to the second episode of what I like to call the Sunday Fun Days. And today, as I record this, it is Super Bowl Sunday. Now, I do have a connection with the Baltimore area, and I thought that there were some bad calls that were made, but really, at the end of the day, the Ravens lost the game. They beat themselves. That's all on them. And even my mother-in-law, who's a hardcore Baltimore person, uh, would agree that the Baltimore Ravens just beat themselves. That's what they did. Well, we are on the precipice of the actual Super Bowl, and it's between my Niners. I grew up in the Bay Area. I was born a Niners fan. I will die a Niners fan. And the Chiefs. Well, of course, as of 2023, 2024 timeframe, everybody apparently seems to have basically, I'm not going to mince words here, a major stiffy for the Chiefs because of Taylor Swift and all the Tay-Tay fans, Tay-Tay Nation, or whatever they call themselves. I don't really even listen to her music. I know my wife has a few of her songs on her playlist, and I've listened to a couple of those songs, but I don't understand what the hell the big deal is, really, about Taylor Swift trying to sway a Super Bowl. There have been some Antifa kind of idiotic conspiracy theories of this somehow is going to, in a very indirect manner, get Trump reelected or some crap like that. I'm not buying it. What I am buying is that there's an entire generation of people, and I'm willing to bet, just in a statistical sense, that at least one of the officials, I mean, and there's 7 of them. There's the referee, of course, and then there's, 6 other guys that are looking at different aspects of the game. So 7 sets of eyes. You think one of them is not either the father of a Swiftie or married to a Swiftie or may not even be a Swiftie himself? Come on. I mean, statistically, as popular as Taylor Swift is, there's going to be some bias. And we're going to watch this in the game that's going to happen in a couple hours. We're going to see this happen. There will be some bias, and it will happen. Literally every single game in the NFL, both sides, offense and defense, have fractionable offenses. And sometimes it's amazing just how the officials will just let one team slide and let one team eat it up on some BS 15-yard penalty when they might have already been infracted by, like a false start or something like that, or roughing the passer, or hands to the face, or things like that, right? And you can watch this. You can watch this on any given Sunday. And it will happen. And that's why I don't even trust it. I feel like NFL, which happens to be America's favorite sport, is basically, at this point, WWE. It's not sports. It's actually sports entertainment because, well, and now here's the other thing about these gambling things, like what is it, Fan Kings, FanDuel, or DraftKings, FanDuel, these stupid things that the Supreme Court ruled a couple years back that that we're allowed to gamble in sports. Well, why would we want professional sports to be gambled on? Just ask. What risk is it to the integrity of a game that people have come to know and love for the last basically 150 years? It started off as gridiron football, which is basically an offshoot of rugby. And I don't think in the UK that rugby is being that influenced by a bunch of mob boss people. And oh, by the way, we're having the game today in a couple hours in Las Vegas. Yeah. And it's all been sponsored. Everything I've watched on the sports channels, whether at home or in bars, whether it's ESPN or whatever sports networks, everything's sponsored by FanDuel and DraftKings. So you want to tell me that there's integrity? Plus, apparently, there's this whole Taylor Nation, Swifty Nation, whatever it's called thing going on. And I'm telling you, I mean, 2 weeks ago, the Ravens definitely lost their own game. They had the home field advantage, and they lost it because they were doing stupid crap, which even my Baltimore mother-in-law was going, yeah, that was their game to lose. And today, Sports Illustrator says that the Niners have a 2-point spread, a 2-point advantage. That's the spread on the game, as it's going to happen in a couple hours. But somehow, I think that this is going to be rigged for the Swifty people. I don't know what that means. I know that there were a bunch of conspiracy theories on the alt-right websites. I'm a middle-of-the-road libertarian. I don't subscribe to that crap. I think that Alex Jones absolutely needed to get fined his whatever, what was it, like $180 billion or whatever. He was, get bankrupted into obscurity. Guys like that are a toxic poison to everything that America represents. But there are conspiracies and there are things that goes on. And that's, the Chicago Black Sox, the infamous 1919 World Series, where the White Sox were heavily involved in sports gambling with the Chicago mob, right? And then we had, Pete Rose back in the late 80s, early 90s kind of thing. I mean, a very talented baseball player who will never be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. He will never be there because of his gambling issues. And then the NBA thing that happened about, I guess, like 2007, 2008. So basically like 15 years ago, that whole scandal happened. You can go back even a little bit further. You can walk it back and go, well, Barry Bonds was basically becoming a Babe Ruth kind of player. And then the Balco thing happened. And then Lance Armstrong. So, the way I see it, any given Sunday is an opportunity for the next biggest sports scandal. In fact, even the greatest sports scandal to happen. And I think that day is today. Let's go back through the basics. Taylor Swift is insanely popular right now. She has a whole cult called Swifties. And this is beyond even how popular Queen Bee has been in late years, right? And we got the game being played in Las Vegas, and we got DraftKings and FanDuel being major sponsors of this entire game. And it's in Las Vegas. Don't forget, it's Las Vegas. What can possibly go wrong? That's my thought. I predict, even though the spread is in favor by 2 points for the Niners, my team, a bunch of bad calls by the officiating staff, and it's going to be a thing that we're going to be talking about for at least 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5 years from now, when things are going through the courts. You watch. This is Tay-Tay Gate. I'm Eric. That's my Sunday Fun Day, and bye now.